Hey guys, this video is for Charlie Kirk's birthday. I know it's at the time of this recording, it's a day late, but this is probably be a couple days behind. I hope you can forgive the lateness. Just a lot going on in life. I only have time to record in the evenings most times. But I think you'll appreciate this video and the message it contains because it's just for you. But it's really through Charlie Kirk. This is harder than I thought it would be to do.
He was the perfect father. He was the perfect husband. Charlie always believed that God's design for marriage and the family was absolutely amazing, and it is. It is, and it was the greatest joy of his life. And over, he would tell all these young people to come and find their future spouse, become wives and husbands and parents. And the reason why is because he wanted you all to experience what he had and still has. He wanted everyone to bring heaven into this earth through love and joy that comes from raising a family. It's beautiful.
We believe as Latter-day Saints that we have agreed to come and live on this earth, and that we agreed to the trials and challenges that we would face that would be unique to us. And some, if not many of us, had a mission that we agreed to before this life began. I think that Charlie Kirk was one of God's noble children who had a mission he had promised God that he would fulfill. That before he was born, God showed him how bad of a state America would be in, how divided and tribalistic Americans had become, how lacking in feeling and love towards each other as fellow countrymen and children of God we've become, how tyrannical our government has grown, and how shabby and poor the moral fabric of society has become, how sad and decrepit and abandoned the family now is in America. And he would show Charlie just how important it is that this nation under God, that this nation that is a freedom to the world, that it would be crumbling and it would need his help.
The Hebrew word hanani, which means here I am, from the call of Samuel to the call of Isaiah to the binding of Isaac to the call of Moses. Here I am, Lord, is a theme we've talked about a lot here on the Charlie Kirk Show. Moses said, hanani, here I am. Yeah, at that moment of the call of God.
Right, exactly. And so this is...
It's a repeated theme throughout the scriptures, hanani, yes.
Well, hanani.
Which is, here I am. So you remember in the Moses...
Right, so he's making himself available.
But remember, Abraham said that with the binding of Isaac when God
it's the
called
same
him,
phrase.
Here I am. And the call of Samuel, here I am, for example. So that phrase, here I am, hanani, is repeated about 7 times throughout the Old Testament.
Oh, so it's like, take me, use me, I'm available for this assignment.
Mold me. I am your obedient vessel.
Right. That's like the Mission Impossible motif. Your assignment if you choose to accept it.
Exactly, but it's a very powerful...
And then it burns.
It's a very powerful Hebrew word. It's
I
basically,
get it.
Here I am, my arms are out. I am yours. Full surrender to your purpose.
Sometimes we overlook the very good in this world that God wants us to accomplish. Sometimes it's because we feel that maybe we're too good for it. It's beneath us. Other times because we're too weak. And probably more commonly, because we aren't awake. We don't even recognize the call that's coming from God. Now, we don't all have to become the person that Charlie Kirk became. We don't have to have riches and fame and lead a giant organization. But we should lock arms with each other and become an unstoppable force for the cause that he died for, the cause of freedom and faith. We might be asleep at times, but all it takes is for one awakening moment, a time of silence and pondering and reaching out to God to feel the words of his Spirit to us. It seems that, Charlie, you had that sort of a moment. You were able to survive your dreams being crushed, your dreams of going to a military academy. and you took a moment to think and realize the work God had called you to do.
It started back where I grew up, suburbs of Chicago. I wanted to go to West Point. It was my whole life was about going to the United States Military Academy in West Point. Eagle Scout, football, basketball captain, heavily involved in my community. Ended up not getting into West Point. I convinced my parents, hey, I'm not sure if I want to go right into college. I'd like to take a gap year before I go to college. And the idea I had was, hey, I want to start an organization from nothing to try to reach the next generation around first principles of liberty and freedom, and that our country is a great nation and is worthy of preserving and protecting.
In the scriptures, God called prophets at times, and other times he called mighty men of action, of courage, to do his work. Sometimes these men were called directly, and other times they followed a feeling in their hearts. Like in the Old Testament, you have Gideon, who the Lord called out of obscurity to become a mighty man who led Israel to defeat their oppressors and tear down the false idols and restore the people to the one true God and faith. In the Book of Mormon, Captain Moroni saw the danger of his day, and following the conviction of his soul, he rallied the Christians to a fight, a political fight, and when that failed, to a war, and then he led them through a physical and spiritual victory over their enemies. Then you have in the American Revolution, you have George Washington, who willingly served his country and God because he felt it was his duty. He wasn't particularly skilled as a soldier, to be honest, but he had moral character that could not be compromised. A character that an entire nation could and did depend on with full faith. Now, most recently, we had Charlie Kirk. Charlie followed what God put in his heart. And in the end, God required of him the ultimate sacrifice so that his testimony would be sealed with his blood.
Way I can start to get my mind to figure out.
Wow, look at that.
Beautiful.
Look at that. Just give him a little taste.
And that in his death, a nation would awaken, that those mighty men and women, the millions of them in this nation, would rise up and hear the call. Like from George Washington, the call from George Washington, from Captain Moroni, or from Gideon. The call to do their duty to save their country, their people, and their faith.
Only in America is it possible to say, you know what, I don't like the way the country is going, and to do something about it. Take that risk, take that leap of faith, stay involved, trust God, and act obediently. Romans 12:2 verse, that God will use all things for good for those who love him. It's bigger than you. I want you to remember that. It is bigger than you. It's bigger than me. You are here to make somebody else's life better.
Charlie, happy birthday. You will not be forgotten. We will remember you, and we are taking up the banner and marching forward. This is where the cause of Christians will succeed.
Why was he killed?
He was killed because his words made a difference. Because he was showing people the light. And he was killed by the dark.
Thank you, sir.
What is most remarkable is even and I'm not sure Charlie knew how big his impact was. There's a saying among the timber workers in Oregon, you never know the height of a tree until it falls. That's the case with Charlie.